Forget not all his benefits. Why would David say that? Because we do forget. When life gets hard, we forget who Jesus is and what he's already done. Let's remember God's faithfulness.
Hey, Lynette. So we're diving into Psalm 103, right? And verse 2 really it jumped out at me because it says, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits." And I've been sitting with that for like a bit now, wondering, why does it even need to say forget not? Like, is that something we naturally do? Forget God's goodness? It seems kind of unsettling, doesn't it?
Oh, Greg, it's such a good question. And you've really hit on like a core human struggle there, haven't you? Because the thing is, we absolutely do. It's not just a suggestion, it's a command. Because our default, our natural bent tends to be towards forgetting, especially when things get a little tough, or when we're just navigating the day to day. We forget. We forget his faithfulness, we forget what he's done in the past, and it's so easy to do. It's almost like spiritual amnesia is like our go-to sometimes, isn't it?
Spiritual amnesia. Wow, that's a good way to put it. Because I think of like, you're going through your week and maybe something goes wrong and immediately like your mind shifts to that negative thing, even if just moments before something incredible happened. It's like our brain prioritizes the bad stuff sometimes, and then all the good, all the blessings kind of just fade into the background. And the psalmist, he's like, no, 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 don't let that happen. It's a very active, sort of command, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. And the beautiful thing about Psalm 103 is that it doesn't just say forget not. It then goes on to actually list some of these benefits. It's almost like, okay, you might forget, so let me remind you. And it talks about who forgives all your iniquities, who heals all your diseases, who redeems your life from destruction, who crowns you with loving kindness and tender mercies, who satisfies your mouth with good things so that your youth is renewed like the eagles. I mean, Greg, that's a lot. It's not just like a few good things, it's comprehensive.
It really is. And as you're reading that, I'm thinking like, who forgives all your iniquities? That alone, that one benefit it's massive. It's everything. Because without that, we're lost. But then you layer on heals all your diseases, which, I mean, we've all experienced some form of healing, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, and then redeems your life from destruction. It's like, wow, he's not just like giving us a little hand up. He's like completely transforming our trajectory. It's pretty overwhelming when you really sit with each one of those, isn't it?
It truly is. And it makes you think like if these are just some of the benefits that David felt compelled to list, imagine the full scope of God's goodness that we experience every single day, like from the air we breathe to the relationships we have to the quiet peace we feel sometimes. It's all part of that divine package. And I think that's why the forget not is so crucial, because if we don't actively bring these to mind, they get drowned out by the noise of life, don't they?
They absolutely do. And I'm just wondering, Lynette, what do you think is like the biggest danger if we do forget? Like beyond just not feeling good, what's the spiritual consequence of, just letting those memories of his goodness just kind of slip away?
Oh, that's a profound question, Greg. I think the biggest danger is that we start to live in a place of fear and anxiety rather than faith and peace. Because if we forget his past faithfulness, then when the next challenge comes, we have no foundation. We're like, oh no, what's going to happen? God isn't going to come through. It erodes our trust. It makes us doubt his character. And ultimately, it just limits our ability to really step into the fullness of the life he has for us. Like if you don't remember he's been good, you can't believe he will be good. It's really detrimental to our walk with him.
Yeah, that's such a good point. It's like if you forget the past victories, you don't have the courage for the future battles, right? And I think about like when you're in a moment of struggle and you can't recall a single time God's actually like shown up for you, that's a very lonely, very dark place to be. Whereas if you have those mental bookmarks, those spiritual anchors, you can go back and say, wait a minute, he did this for me then, he's gonna do it again. It completely changes your perspective, doesn't it? It's transformative.
Yeah, it absolutely does transform everything, Greg. And so the follow up, has to be okay, so if forgetting is our default and it's so dangerous, how do we actively remember? Like, what are some practical things we can do, in our everyday lives to truly forget not?
Yeah, I'm really curious about that because it's one thing to say don't forget, but it's another thing to have like actual tools. Do you know what I mean? Like what does that look like? Is it journaling? Is it like setting reminders on your phone? What have you found helpful or what does the Bible, imply we should do?
Well, all of those things actually. I mean, journaling is huge because it's tangible proof, right? You can look back at those entries and say, "Wow, God really did do that." Creating what I like to call Ebenezer stones, like in the Old Testament, where they'd build altars or pillars to mark where God had shown up. For us, that might be like a God's faithfulness jar, where you write down things and put them in, and then you pull them out when you need a reminder. Or even, just intentionally sharing testimonies with friends, because speaking it out loud actually helps cement it in our own minds. And then, of course, there's always worship and praise. When you're worshiping, you're not just singing a song, you're often recalling and declaring God's goodness, which is a powerful way to remember.
Yeah, that's really good. I really like that idea of like the Ebenezer stone because it's a physical reminder. And sometimes we need those tangible things to just, pull us back into that space of remembrance. And it makes me think about like our whole podcast, the same Jesus, right? Because these benefits, they're not just like Old Testament benefits. They're active and alive today, aren't they? And Jesus is the ultimate source of all of this goodness.
Absolutely, Greg. He is the same Jesus yesterday, today, and forever. So the forgiveness, the healing, the redemption, the crowning of loving kindness, those aren't like limited time offers. Those are eternal benefits because Jesus himself is eternal and unchanging. And when we forget his benefits, we're not just forgetting a random act. We're forgetting an aspect of his character, of who he truly is. And that's why this instruction in Psalm 103 is so pivotal. It's about remembering him through his actions, through his goodness in our lives.
Wow. Yeah, it's about really cultivating a spirit of intentional gratitude, isn't it? Like it's not just, a passive thing that happens. It's something you have to actively engage in, actively fight for, especially when the world is like constantly trying to pull your attention elsewhere. So forget not is actually a call to a deeper relationship, a deeper awareness of Jesus and his ongoing work in our lives. That's super powerful, Lynette. Really good stuff.
Absolutely, Greg. That really brings us full circle from our natural tendency towards spiritual amnesia to understanding the incredible benefits God gives, all the way to actively remembering Him. It's a journey strengthening our faith and deepening our connection to Him.
It truly is, Lynette. Forget not isn't a burden, but a profound invitation to live in gratitude, trust, and peace, constantly anchored in the truth of who he is and what he's done for us.
Exactly. So, as we wrap up today's discussion on Psalm 103, remember that cultivating intentional gratitude is a daily practice, one that continually reminds us of God's incredible goodness and His unwavering presence.
We truly appreciate you joining us for this insightful conversation. It's been powerful. If you've enjoyed this deep dive, we encourage you to listen to the entire series, The Same Jesus, as we explore his unchanging nature.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope this has blessed and encouraged you. Join us next time on The Same Jesus for more discussions that challenge and uplift your spirit. Until then, take care.